Chapter 441. The Combat Style of the Supreme Race, Researching Weaknesses. Precisely because these two races possess so many powerhouses at the Hengmeng Dao ancestor level, even a minor conflict between them will draw the attention of every race across the all heavens and myriad realms. It will attract their gaze. Most first-rate races and other supreme races within the all heavens and myriad realms are very happy to see conflicts arise among the supreme races. The more conflicts that occur among the supreme races, the happier the many ambitious first-rate races, some of which contain tens of thousands of Hengmeng Dao ancestor-level existences, become. In the all heavens and myriad realms, although all races in the all heavens and myriad realms have suffered under the human race for a long time. However, aside from the human race, other races have also suffered under the other supreme races for a long time. It's just that those supreme races do not possess the unparalleled strength of the human race. Although they are powerful, they are not strong enough to ignore everything. Since they are not powerful enough to ignore everything, these supreme races will not overly oppress the first-rate and second-rate races. Therefore, the suffering is not as intense. But this is only relative, as those supreme races highly value their status. If those races lack ambition and are content with being second-rate or first-rate races, these supreme races will not bother them. However, if they show ambition and attempt to become a supreme race and usurp their position, they will face the combined assault of the other 7 supreme races. All kinds of conspiracies, schemes, calculations, and suppression will flood these races. Only after annihilating them or crippling them will the supreme races let the matter rest. The Supreme System Race, the Supreme Heavenly Demon Clan. These two supreme races. The reason for the conflict is, it is because the Supreme Heavenly Demon Clan constantly researches members of the Supreme System Clan, studying their system origin, their physical structure, and the genesis of their lives. They are researching their weaknesses. This research is actually not a problem. All supreme races in the all heavens and myriad realms, including the human race, are engaged in similar studies. They are not only researching the System Clan, they are also researching other races and searching for those races' weaknesses. However, understanding a supreme race through research is not that easy. The Hengmeng Dao ancestor-level powerhouses within these races long ago imposed a cognitive blockade and a fate blockade on the various secrets of their own races. With these two major blockades in place, anyone attempting to understand them through research will encounter all sorts of difficulties. The cognitive blockade is simply blocking cognition. The fate blockade is somewhat impressive. It blocks the fate of anyone who might potentially discover the secrets. Anyone whose fate suggests they might uncover the secrets of these races will immediately suffer fate's erasure. If erasure fails, fate will erase their research findings, preventing them from making discoveries. It is precisely for this reason that after so many Hengmeng eras, aside from the human race, which successfully researched the secrets of the Supreme System Clan and developed specific attacks and weapons targeting their weaknesses, no one else has managed to make such a discovery. But now, the Supreme Heavenly Demon Clan recently figured it out, and as luck would have it, just as they finished the research, the Supreme System Clan found out. This greatly displeased the Supreme System Clan, and they felt a slight panic. They felt their status was severely threatened. If the human race had figured it out, that would be one thing. All the other supreme races combined couldn't defeat the human race anyway. Since they couldn't win, whether the human race understood their weaknesses or not made little difference. As long as the human race didn't leak the information, they could just pretend ignorance and concede a little. But what caliber is the Supreme Heavenly Demon Clan? Their overall strength is slightly weaker than the Supreme System Clan, yet they dared to research them and actually succeeded. Among the 7 supreme races in the all heavens and myriad realms excluding the human race, the strongest is the Supreme System clan, making it the 2nd strongest race in the all heavens and myriad realms. The 3rd strongest is the Supreme Origin Immortal clan. The 4th is the Supreme Origin Celestial Demon clan. But now, the Supreme Origin Celestial Demon clan has figured out the Supreme Origin System clan. Since they can now counter the Supreme Origin System clan, it becomes much easier, and the gap in strength between the two sides is directly leveled. How can this be tolerated? This is outrageous. This Supreme Origin Celestial Demon clan is too arrogant. If they aren't taught a lesson, they won't know the immensity of the situation, nor will they know their place. Fight. They must fight fiercely. Whether people die is not important, nor is whether they can cripple the Supreme Origin Celestial Demon clan. What is important is fighting first. When supreme races clash and fight, no preparation is necessary. They just need to let the Hengmeng Dao ancestor-level powerhouses on both sides have a straightforward fight. Any conspiracy or scheme is useless in the all heavens and myriad realms, where one strength breaks 10,000 methods. Rather than thinking about such things, it is better to fight. Use fists to determine victory and defeat. Use fists to decide destiny. A corner at the edge of the all heavens and myriad realms. This area originally contained hundreds of trillions of chaos spacetime regions, but now, all the chaos spacetime here has vanished. All the worlds within. All the great Daos. All the rules. All the void realms. All the life forms. All were ground down and annihilated by the Hengmeng Dao ancestor powerhouses of the Supreme Origin System clan and the Supreme Origin Celestial Demon clan. Don't ask why. The answer is that they prepared a small battlefield in advance. When two supreme races clash, it's certainly impossible for millions of Hengmeng Dao ancestor-level powerhouses to engage in an all-out fight, if they truly fought like that. The all heavens and myriad realms couldn't endure it. If they fought unrestrainedly for tens of thousands of chaos eras, the all heavens and myriad realms would be utterly destroyed. The two races merely have a conflict and only wish to resolve it. They are not planning mutual destruction. You die, I die, everyone dies. That would be too much like hell. Both sides, and everyone in the all heavens and myriad realms, disagree with that. They haven't had enough. Only an imbecile would destroy the all heavens and myriad realms. Therefore, if two powerhouses at the Hengmeng Dao ancestor level want to fight, they always clear the area first, to determine the scope of the battlefield. Then, the two supreme races each select 10 individuals of moderate strength from their respective races, and the two sides engage in a massive chaotic battle. Whichever side has people remaining, that side is the winner. And then the winner takes all. Heavenly Demon Ancestor, if you heavenly demons honestly admit defeat now, it's not too late. This system master can still let you off the hook. As long as each of you offers 3 Hengmeng Dao ancestor-level heaven and earth treasures, totaling around 10 million for our clan. And swear upon the origin of the all heavens and myriad realms not to reveal the weakness of our system clan, and not to target our weakness in future great battles. Then we will forgive and forget the past offense. We can continue the cooperation we previously established between our two races. We can even reconcile and return to our former relationship. But if you insist on continuing this fight, we will accompany you to the end. It's just that I don't know if your race can endure until the very end. Above the endless void realm, a massive blue sphere of light, emitting boundless divine radiance and entangled with endless Tao rhymes, the ancestor of all systems in the all heavens and myriad realms, the creator of the system clan, the supreme origin system master, flickered continuously. It displayed his fury at this very moment. The system master currently felt like shouting profanities. He was cursing the supreme origin celestial demon clan for for being so dishonorable, and also cursing the weaklings and trash among his own clan's powerhouses. The slightly weaker Supreme Origin Celestial Demon clan was able to break through layers of blockades and research the weakness of their system clan. But their Supreme Origin System clan has not yet managed to fully understand the secrets of the Supreme Origin Celestial Demon clan. Who exactly is the second strongest race in the all heavens and myriad realms? Heck tilde, heck tilde, has tilde tilde. Agitated, are you not agitated? System Master, things have reached this point, yet you are still acting arrogant toward this ancestor. Wow, forgive and forget the past offense, huh? Do your parents know you're this arrogant? Do the human ancestor and human emperor of the human race know? With that arrogant tone of yours, those who know will recognize you as the creator of the system clan. Those who don't know might think you are the human emperor of the human race. This attitude, this level of arrogance, you wouldn't be imitating the human emperor, would you? No way, absolutely no way. To think that the strongest expert of the second most powerful race in the all heavens and myriad realms is actually imitating how others speak. Could it be that you were once trampled underfoot by the human emperor, rubbed fiercely, and got that certificate thing? Seeing that the Supreme Origin System Master in front of him still maintained this attitude toward him at this time. The Supreme Origin Heavenly Demon Ancestor didn't know what to say anymore. Although there was a gap in strength between their two races, the system clan had around 4 million Hengmeng Dao ancestor-level powerhouses. Their Supreme Origin Celestial Demon clan only had 3 million people, lacking 3 million. Besides the gap in the number of Hengmeng Dao ancestor-level powerhouses in their races, there was also a slight difference in strength between the System Master and the Supreme Origin Heavenly Demon Ancestor. The strength of the Supreme Origin System Master exceeded that of a Hengmeng Dao ancestor of the same level by about 190 times. He only exceeded a Hengmeng Dao ancestor of the same level by 180 times. But this was not the reason why this Supreme Origin System Master could be so arrogant in front of him. The Supreme Origin Heavenly Demon Ancestor couldn't understand why the Supreme Origin System Master could be so arrogant. What gave him the right to be so arrogant? A clumsy attempt at provocation. But it was indeed effective. You have succeeded in making me feel murderous intent toward you once again. If my strength permitted it, I would truly want to kill you right now. Since you are so eager to fight, then let's fight. My 10 people are already prepared. Where are yours? The massive blue sphere of light flickered intensely. Hearing the Supreme Origin Heavenly Demon Ancestor insult him like this, and not only insult him, but also reveal the secret humiliation of being trampled and continuously rubbed by the human emperor of the human race countless years ago. The Supreme Origin System Master could no longer restrain himself. Since this battle was inevitable and couldn't be controlled by mere words, there was naturally no need to endure anything. Just fight. Mine are also prepared. Fight, this ancestor can't wait, you're most welcome. This time, the Hengmeng Dao ancestor-level powerhouses I have prepared all know the weakness of your clan, and the Hengmeng Dao ancestors in my clan who specialize in science fiction paths have already spent endless years inside the Time Research Lab, researching technological weapons, specifically targeting your clan. Before coming, I tested it using the experimental subject that was created when researching your clan's weakness. The effect was good. Even when the strength difference was 1-fold, it could defeat that quasi-grandmist Dao ancestor from your clan. Even if the circumstances of a Hengmeng Dao ancestor and a quasi-grandmist Dao ancestor are different, it is still effective. At the very least, when facing your system clan, the combat power of my heavenly demon clan members can increase by 30% out of thin air. I am quite looking forward to seeing what you use to resist. Can you even resist? Waving his hand, the supreme origin heavenly demon ancestor, who was filled with evil chi, wore a black robe, and was surrounded by rolling black smoke, clearly a supervillain. Allowed the 10 Hengmeng Dao ancestor realm powerhouses prepared behind him to enter the battlefield. After entering, every Hengmeng Dao ancestor off, the supreme origin celestial demon clan took out their ancestral myriad soul banner. Inside were the souls of numerous quasi-grandmist Dao ancestor realm, and 1 or 2 ordinary Hengmeng Dao ancestor realm powerhouses. These souls were harvested using the heavenly demon clan's special methods after suppressing the one-proof eternal characteristic. Otherwise, if the soul remained, these deceased Hengmeng Dao ancestor and quasi-grandmist Dao ancestor realm powerhouses would instantly resurrect due to the characteristic of one-proof eternal. It would be impossible for them to be inside the myriad soul banner. As both factions, a total of 20 powerhouses at the Hengmeng Dao ancestor realm entered this battlefield. Without any hesitation. Immediately, the 20 Hengmeng Dao ancestor realm powerhouses began to furiously attack everything around them. They furiously attacked the Hengmeng Dao ancestors in front of them. Every second, tens of millions, hundreds of millions, even trillions of attacks erupted from their hands. Infinite divine thought swept across all surrounding space and time. The minor Daos they created also transformed into their own long rivers, furiously grinding down the Hengmeng Dao ancestors in front of them. The reason Hengmeng Dao ancestors are so powerful is because of the minor Daos they create. It is because they can perfectly master the power of the minor Dao. The more heavenly venerable, divine venerable, and immortal venerable realm powerhouses cultivate the minor Daos they conceived in the all heavens and myriad realms, the stronger their own power becomes. They can instantly mobilize the power of those who cultivate their minor Dao for battle. In addition to this, they can also use their minor Dao, which is in fusion with the great Dao of the all heavens and myriad realms, to communicate with the great Dao of the all heavens and myriad realms, allowing the power of the great Dao of the all heavens and myriad realms to bless their bodies, instantly increasing their strength by thousands or tens of thousands of times. This is the power of a Hengmeng Dao ancestor. Any single move here could instantly kill tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or even millions of quasi-grandmist Dao ancestors. A powerhouse at the quasi-grandmist Dao ancestor realm, even the strongest quasi-grandmist Dao ancestor in the all heavens and myriad realms. Facing such an existence, it's not a matter of one move, it's a matter of a single thought. A thought can kill them as soon as it emerges. Even if number 7 Chu He becomes a quasi-grandmist Dao ancestor, and his strength after breakthrough surpasses ordinary quasi-grandmist Dao ancestors by tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of times. It's still a matter of a single thought. It just depends on whether the Hengmeng Dao ancestor wants to kill them or not. There will be no power to resist. The further one goes in the realms of the all heavens and myriad realms, the truly immense the gap becomes. Only those in minor thousand worlds, with the realms they create themselves, have the possibility of transcending realms. In the realm system of the all heavens and myriad realms, apart from Chu He in a previous simulation who defeated someone a realm above him, there has been no such instance in the all heavens and myriad realms. Never heard of it. A Hengmeng Dao ancestors battle cannot end in just a day or two. They use Hengmeng eras, and under circumstances where their strength is similar. Normally, it would take around several hundred Hengmeng eras to determine a victor. And if the strength of both sides is truly equal, with no difference at all, even if they fight until the all heavens and myriad realms are destroyed, there would be no battle outcome. But fortunately, the Supreme Origin Celestial Demon Clan has grasped the weakness of the Supreme Origin System Clan and has specifically researched weapons and attack methods to deal with that weakness. Their strength is at least 50% greater than these people. This is an extremely exaggerated proportion. It would take roughly tens of billions of chaos eras for this battle to conclude. This time frame is still within the acceptable range for those present. Therefore, no one present intends to leave this battlefield. They plan to watch until the end. A Hengmeng Dao ancestor level battle is not something one can watch at any time. Especially a life and death battle like this. It is even rarer to witness. So, the Supreme Origin System clan and the Supreme Origin Celestial Demon clan, who were just hostile towards each other, unexpectedly, happily joined forces again, openly declaring to the first-rate, second-rate, and third-rate races in the all heavens and myriad realms who were anticipating the outcome of this battle, that they would publicize it to them. Anyone who wishes to come and watch this battle can come at any time. Their two supreme races will not obstruct them. A Hengmeng Dao ancestor level battle is a once-in-a-millennium opportunity. It must not be missed. However, to come and watch, each Hengmeng Dao ancestor level powerhouse must hand over 3 heaven and earth treasures of the Hengmeng Dao ancestor level. Only then can they enter. Of course, if they don't want to come and watch, there's actually no problem. Their two supreme races are indifferent, truly indifferent. The reason the two supreme races are publicizing this and allowing everyone to watch the outcome of the battle, even if one of the races loses after tens of billions of chaos eras, which might somewhat diminish the prestige of a supreme race. But there's no choice. Supreme races also need to recover. No matter which of the two supreme races loses, one of them will have to pay tens of millions of Hengmeng Dao ancestor level heaven and earth treasures. All Hengmeng Dao ancestor level powerhouses will bear the cost together, with each person contributing several, which is a huge expenditure. It will impact some of their race's future plans. So, they must recover some of their losses. Using this pretext to recover losses is an excellent idea. With so many races in the all heavens and myriad realms, if they all pay a few Hengmeng Dao ancestor level heaven and earth treasures, they might even make a small profit. The third-rate races in the all heavens and myriad realms are the most numerous, roughly 40 to 50 million. If all these people come, one each, that's over 100 million Hengmeng Dao ancestor level heaven and earth treasures. Isn't that a profit? Don't ask why they are so sure that all of them will come. The answer is, dare they not come? If they don't come, they will all be noted down in a small book, and the final reckoning will come after the battle ends. They don't need to kill all of them. The two supreme races don't have that capability either. If they really go too far, these races uniting could cause significant trouble for the two supreme races. But casually wiping out 1,000 third-rate races as an example, annihilating their entire clans, that's no problem. No one wants to be one of those 1,000. Moreover, don't think that all these Hengmeng Dao ancestor level heaven and earth treasures will go into the pockets of their two races. Impossible. These must be divided among other supreme races and the human race. Otherwise, other supreme races, including the human race, would not allow this to happen. They would stand on the side of the other people in the all heavens and myriad realms. Nonsense, everyone knows this truth. There are only so many Hengmeng Dao ancestor level heaven and earth treasures in the entire all heavens and myriad realms. In a typical third-rate race with 2 or 3 Hengmeng Dao ancestor realm powerhouses, there are only about 10 to 20 Hengmeng Dao ancestor level heaven and earth treasures. Each race contributed 3. How small a fraction is that? If such a huge income is all pocketed by just 2 races, if the other supreme races still want to profit, what are they going to profit from? These things have already been snatched away. What else is the human race going to snatch? They might as well all go beg for food. However, these two supreme races are truly ruthless, plundering so many treasures from the all heavens and myriad realms in one go. Even while fighting, they constantly remember to profit and replenish their resources. It is truly a blessing for the numerous third-rate, second-rate, and first-rate races across the all heavens and myriad realms to have these supreme races above them. Chu He was truly convinced. He was genuinely impressed. Chu He never expected the methods these people used to profit would be so ruthless. Even when he was in the Hun Tian army within the Hun Tian Great Thousand World, things weren't like this. Perhaps only the descendants in my Chu alliance Yuho have obtained the right to unlimited corruption, could contend with them. But they could only contend. The outcome is still unknown. As for the profit distribution, those two supreme races only accounted for a mere 10%. Not 10% each, but 10% combined. The remaining 5 supreme races split 10%. The remaining 80% belongs to the human race. That's right, even if the human race did nothing, they must occupy 80% of the share. Remember this one sentence. The human race is supreme in the all heavens and myriad realms, no matter what is done or what profit is gained. The human race must be factored in at the start and must take the lion's share. Only then can the matter proceed. Only then can they obtain benefits. The human race has been the boss for so many years, and they have accomplished many things, mostly succeeding in everything they attempt. They have never encountered any difficulties. If they do not want something to happen, others cannot make it happen. Are there people in the all heavens and myriad realms who oppose them? Yes, but very few. Unless they are idiots who don't want to live anymore. The flow of time in the all heavens and myriad realms is very fast, and while the two supreme races were fighting a great war, approximately 200,000 chaos eras have passed. During these more than 200,000 chaos eras, your descendants, Chu Yunshin and Chu Zunshin, have long since achieved the quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor realm. Furthermore, due to the use of various cultivation resources, their combat power did not decrease after their breakthrough. They did not experience the situation common among other heaven-defying fighters, where their combat power slightly decreases with every major realm breakthrough. This situation did not occur for the two of them. Not only did it not decrease, but their combat power even increased slightly. Upon breakthrough, their combat power was already about 1,000 times that of a quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor at the same level. This level of combat power is unimaginable to others. However, if someone knew that they used a massive amount of heaven and earth treasure, various blessed lands, and various lands of opportunity to enhance their foundation when breaking through to this realm. Tens of thousands of Hengmeng, Tao ancestor-level heaven and earth treasure were used. This exceeded the treatment of an ordinary human race seed of Hengmeng. Then it is not strange. Using so much heaven and earth treasure, and being so much stronger than other quasi-grandmist Tao ancestors, is a normal occurrence. If, after using them, they still couldn't be stronger than their peers, and couldn't compare to those who cultivated only through their own efforts without any treasure, that would be truly strange. That would be utterly ridiculous. Because someone could surpass those who cultivated with treasure, just by cultivating on their own. Isn't that outrageous enough? After the two of them broke through, they also conveniently helped you kill 3 cultivators in the quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor realm. As the minor Tao of imprint you created became more and more complete, you vaguely sensed 3 individuals whose understanding of the Tao was similar to the minor Tao you created. Perhaps the minor Taos created by the 4 of you would be different once truly established. The effects would be different. Even after you created your idea, you would still be able to break through to quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor. The existence of those 3 people would not prevent your breakthrough. However, because there were similarities, there would inevitably be some influence. Although this influence was an influence. But after coming out of seclusion, you told Chu Yunshin and Chu Zunshin, who were in the human race ancestral land, about this situation. Then these two descendants of yours. Without a second word. Without a single piece of nonsense. After learning the vague location of those three individuals from you, they immediately utilized fate detection methods within the human race ancestral land and found the three people. Of these three people, one was a chaos great Tao controller from an ordinary third-rate race. The other two were from first-rate races. If these three people had been from a supreme race, Chu Yunshin and Chu Zunshin would have had a small amount of trouble trying to resolve them on behalf of you, the old ancestor. There would have been a small amount of trouble. There was no helping it. Although supreme races were not as powerful as the human race, they still had several million Hengmeng Dao ancestors. Their strength was considerable. The human race also had to show them some respect. If you ran into their ancestral land and openly killed members of their race, that would be showing too little regard for others. Supreme races also need face. But it would only be a small trouble. If they didn't openly run into their ancestral land to kill people, but simply had a Hengmeng Dao ancestor realm expert of the human race speak a word to a Hengmeng Dao ancestor expert of the supreme race. The Hengmeng Dao ancestor expert from the supreme race would directly dispatch that chaos great Dao controller to a remote chaos spacetime. At that point, resolution would be easy. Even if this chaos great Dao controller died, they could casually claim it was done by a third-rate race seeking revenge, and then by destroying that third-rate race, they could still gain some profit. As long as this situation was not publicized, and both sides maintained face, it would be that easy to resolve. Of course, since the races of these three chaos great Dao controllers were merely third-rate and first-rate races, none of the above solutions were necessary. Chu Yunshin and Chu Zunshin simply went directly into that first-rate race's territory and acted wildly arrogant. They brazenly mocked the people of that race right in front of the Hengmeng Dao ANCESTOR experts of those first-rate races. They killed those chaos great Dao controllers right in front of them. All sorts of humiliation would suffice. That third-rate race even directly utilized a privilege of the seed of Hengmeng, allowing the human race to casually annihilate any third-rate race, and everything within that race would belong entirely to the seed of Hengmeng. They directly wiped out that third-rate race. Myriad Heavens Mall. City Lord Mansion. Number 7, Chu He slightly opened his eyes, and with this opening, in an instant, an incomparably terrifying aura surpassed all chaos great Dao controllers in all heavens and myriad realms. Surpassing the limits of chaos great Dao controllers in all heavens and myriad realms. Surpassing ordinary quasi-grandmist Dao ancestors. Reaching the extreme of the extreme, an aura as terrifying as an abyss. Erupted outward. It instantly enveloped the entire myriad heavens mall, making the hundreds of billions of chaos great Dao controllers within the myriad heavens mall feel their scalps tingle. Before this aura, these chaos great Dao controllers, who could be called experts anywhere in all heavens and myriad realms, were actually like a flat boat in the middle of the ocean, appearing as if they could be overturned by the surging waves of the sea at any moment, without even a shred of resistance. Furthermore, this aura was still climbing at a speed visible to the naked eye. It madly enveloped the entire Tianchu chaos spacetime and other surrounding chaos spacetimes. That's right, the other surrounding chaos spacetimes. Your aura, your presence, had already enveloped the entire Tianchu chaos spacetime, and this was not yet over. This situation, without exception, indicated that you were breaking through to a realm stronger than a chaos great Dao controller. Quasi-grandmist Dao ancestor. The most powerful realm known in all heavens and myriad realms, excluding the Hengmeng Dao ancestor. The second to last realm in all heavens and myriad realms. A realm only one step away from reaching the pinnacle of the all heavens. After more than 200,000 chaos eras of continuous refinement and creation, you have finally, on this day, at this moment, created the minor Dao of imprint that you had originally envisioned. And through this initially created minor Tao, you are breaking through to become a quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor. The realm you have thought about breaking through to every moment for over 200,000 chaos eras. Once the breakthrough succeeds, with your incomparably terrifying combat power, you will undoubtedly be the strongest person below the Hengmeng Tao ancestor. No other quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor of the same level will be a match for you, and not a single one will be able to survive under one of your gazes. By then, the people in the entire all heavens and myriad realms who are stronger than you will only be 1 billion. Although this number is still large, compared to the people who were stronger than you when you were a chaos great Tao controller, the number has decreased by a lot. Ranked 1 billion on the all heavens and myriad realms strength ranking. Above countless people in all heavens and myriad realms, and below 1 billion people. 1 hour later, after your aura had enveloped dozens of surrounding chaos spacetimes and stopped expanding outward. A minor Tao emitting an indestructible aura, but not the indestructible great Tao, just a minor Tao. And it was a minor Tao that looked slightly incomplete. Some parts of the minor Tao river were a bit narrow or missing. Appeared behind you. However, despite looking slightly incomplete, and despite it only being a minor Tao, this minor Tao was completely different from the minor Tao rivers controlled by other experts at the celestial venerable, divine venerable, and immortal venerable realms. It emitted a majestic power that the great Tao rivers cultivated by other chaos, great Tao controllers, could not compare to. It even seemed more like an indestructible great Tao river than the indestructible great Tao rivers comprehended by others. Filled with an indestructible and immortal aura. Countless Chu family chaos great Tao controllers felt excitement flash in their eyes upon seeing this river. Filled with exhilaration and shock. What is going on with this minor Tao river? Why is it so big? Why does it have this kind of aura? Don't the minor Tao rivers released by those ants at the celestial venerable realm only have the size of 500,000 worlds, or 100,000 worlds? This river has even exceeded the range of my divine thought, as if it has reached the other end of the chaos spacetime. How is this possible? Is this still the minor Tao river within my cognition? Chu Yuexing, a 34th generation descendant of the Chu family and a practitioner at the chaos great Tao controller realm, was filled with astonishment in his eyes. How is it impossible? Have you forgotten the memories we obtained from the minds of those alien chaos great Tao controllers? There are 4 types of minor Tao rivers in all heavens and myriad realms. One is the minor Tao river of a celestial venerable. One is the minor Tao river of a quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor. And one is the Hengmeng Tao ancestors. And there is another one, Wangwei. One is just comprehension and mastery, while the other is creation. Can these be the same? Seeing the questioning of his junior, who had just been chatting with him, the 34th generation descendant of the Chu family, who was also a practitioner at the chaos great Tao controller realm, could not help but respond. Are you saying? That's right, it is exactly as you think. Our old ancestor, the only old ancestor in our family, old ancestor Chu He, has already broken through to a realm above the chaos great Tao controller, created a minor Tao, and achieved the quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor realm. From now on, our family is a family with a quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor realm expert. In the future, our family's pace of expanding chaos spacetime might be able to be more aggressive and faster. The quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor realm. In all heavens and myriad realms, this is already the backbone strength in most races. Only one step away from stepping onto the pinnacle of the all heavens. In those memories, normal chaos great Tao controllers need to use the Hengmeng era as a unit to calculate the time to break through to the quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor realm. Just looked at the comment section. Some people say that if you run to someone else's chaos spacetime, your strength will be halved. So wouldn't a Hung Meng Dao ancestor level expert be easily sealed by others? This setting, this reader might not have looked at it very clearly. The setting says that half-step chaos great Dao controllers and chaos great Dao controllers will be suppressed by those chaos spacetimes if they run to other chaos spacetimes. But a Hung Meng Dao ancestor can destroy countless chaos spacetimes with a single thought. How could they possibly be suppressed by a chaos spacetime weaker than themselves? That only applies to those inferior to the chaos spacetime. 446. A great existence. A Hung Meng Dao ancestor of all heavens and myriad realms fell in love with me while I was a commoner in a small world. But our old ancestor seems to have only spent a few 100,000 chaos eras to break through to the realm of quasi-grandmist Dao ancestor. I don't know how the old ancestor managed to do it. How else could it be done? Of course, it's hiding his realm again. According to the family history records, our old ancestor loves to hide his realm and loves to pretend to be a pig to eat the tiger. Our old ancestor has long been a powerhouse at the Hung Meng Dao ancestor realm. He just doesn't want to hide it anymore, so he revealed another realm. What other situation could it be? Indeed. Agreed. I just don't know if I will have any hope of breaking through to the quasi-grandmist Dao ancestor realm later on. As long as you don't court death, under the leadership of the old ancestor, what is the quasi-grandmist Dao ancestor realm? How about setting a stronger goal? What about your vision? What about your outlook? Your combat power, under the old ancestor's enhancement, has surpassed the strength of an ordinary chaos great Dao controller by about 700 times. According to the descriptions and the memories of those alien chaos great Dao controllers, the seed of Hung Meng in their races is not as strong as you, only about 300 times at the same level. Your combat power can be said to be the seed of Hung Meng among the seeds of Hung Meng. In the future, you will definitely not stop at the quasi-grandmist Dao ancestor realm. The Hung Meng Dao ancestor realm is your pursuit. You need to have some confidence in yourself. While all members of the Chu family were shocked and exclaiming, most of the Chu family members were wishing in their hearts that you, this old ancestor, could successfully break through, hoping that no unexpected situations would occur. Of course, there was also a portion of people who did not offer blessings. These people were not wishing you wouldn't break through, they just believed you were hiding something again. When you were originally at the cultivation level of a half-step chaos great Dao controller, you were still in a small world, acting as a cultivator beyond the seventh-order realm. Even at the very beginning, you were just a third-order realm celestial. Damn it, who is better at hiding than you? Who else could do such a thing? Only you, their old ancestor, could do such a thing. Perhaps, when you were hiding your realm and living in the heavenly cloud realm, you were just playing a game. This possibility is quite high. Just like those playboys in their Chu family today, who often play the game of pretending to be a pig to eat the tiger. Clearly having very strong power, but insisting on pretending to be very weak, and then going to those small worlds and minor thousand worlds to act tough and slap faces. Perhaps you, this old ancestor, were in the same situation back then. As for why, while acting tough and slapping faces, you ended up having them, these descendants. Why, when it was clearly a case of pretending to be a pig to eat the tiger, did you still have to beget descendants in that small world? An existence surpassing their imagination ran into a small world and united with an ordinary person. No matter how one thinks about this, one cannot figure out the reason. A great existence at the Hung Meng Dao ancestor level of all heavens and myriad realms fell in love with me while I was a commoner in a small world. Then it can only be attributed to one reason. They were just an accident. Or perhaps they were also just a part of the game. You descendants just love to think, aren't you thinking too much? A great existence at the Hung Meng Dao ancestor level of all heavens and myriad realms took me in while I was a commoner in a small world. And what part of a game? You guys can even come up with such wild imaginations. As expected of my descendants, your imaginations are strong, just like me. It's just a bit too strong. Originally, seeing that he was breaking through to the quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor realm, Chu He was more or less a little excited. After all, he had broken through another realm in the simulator. He had taken a big step forward on the road to being invincible in all heavens and myriad realms. But seeing that some descendants were interpreting his past actions in such a way, Chu He couldn't help but twitch the corner of his mouth. He couldn't help but twitch the corner of his mouth slightly. It was unbearable to look at. If these thoughts were known by all the descendants, my lifelong reputation would be ruined by these descendants. No, absolutely not. After this simulator session ends, I must properly correct those unhealthy tendencies in the family. I absolutely cannot let these unhealthy tendencies change my cute descendants. If I let them keep thinking wild thoughts, I don't know what I will become in the hearts of these descendants. In the hearts of these descendants, the image of me, the old ancestor, must be noble, invincible, loving, and kind. Regarding the thoughts of those Chu Family descendants, you, who are breaking through to the quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor realm, naturally know them. Upon reaching your realm, if anyone mentions you, you know their thoughts in their hearts. Especially at such a close distance, with so many descendants talking about you right in front of you, it is naturally impossible for you not to know. Not only do you know now, but a long time ago, you already knew the thoughts of this portion of Chu family descendants. You really want to change these thoughts in their hearts, but you don't know how to change them. You cannot possibly tell all your secrets, reveal the secret of the simulator, reveal the secret of why you are so powerful, and then let them know that you were once really that weak and trashy. Only an idiot would say these things to prove themselves. And if you don't say these things, you have no way to prove your innocence. Even if all the descendants say they believe you on their lips, they don't believe you in their hearts. Even if these descendants obey you in everything, believing whatever you say is right, this kind of heartfelt belief, even if one tries to deceive oneself, cannot be deceived clearly. For this kind of thing, you estimate that only after you become a Hengmeng Dao ancestor, completely invincible, and no longer fear any threats. Only then will you be able to speak out your secrets and let all the descendants change their thoughts, changing the image of you, the old ancestor, in their hearts. After the minor Tao of imprint was released by you, your situation of breaking through to the quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor realm has also reached the final stage. That is to imprint this minor Tao. On the long river of the indestructible great day-off, all heavens and myriad realms, to exist eternally with the long river of the indestructible great Tao. Letting all heavens and myriad realms have one more such minor Tao. This step is not difficult at all. Breaking through to the quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor realm, the most difficult part is creating the minor Tao. Nothing else is difficult. It can be completed by just following the flow. All heavens and myriad realms seem to sense another minor Tao of all heavens being imprinted into its own great Tao. Not long after the grand and magnificent minor Tao of imprint appeared. Something even more grand and magnificent, carrying endless immortality and indestructibility. Because of its existence, all experts above the Daluo level in all heavens and myriad realms possess the characteristic of eternal proof. Because of its existence, the truly eternal, indestructible great Tao of all heavens and myriad realms exists. It appeared above the minor Tao of imprint. Before this true river of the great Tao of all heavens and myriad realms, not the phantoms of the great Tao river, released by those Daluo existences, or those in the Tao venerable realm. Your minor Tao of imprint, although more powerful than other cultivators who have broken through to the quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor realm, is nothing compared to this true, indestructible great Tao. This is only the tip of the iceberg of this great Tao. If the indestructible great Tao were fully exposed before you, let alone you, even the strongest Hengmeng Dao ancestor of all heavens and myriad realms, the human emperor, is nothing before this great Tao. A Heng Meng Tao ancestor only creates a complete minor Tao of all heavens. Even the strongest Heng Meng Tao ancestor only creates a minor Tao. It is just one of the many components of the great Tao. And the great Tao is formed by the combination of minor Taos created by countless Heng Meng Tao ancestors and countless quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor experts. There are 1 billion Heng Meng Tao ancestors in all heavens and myriad realms, as well as an unknown number of quasi-grandmist Tao ancestors, even without counting those experts in the quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor realm. Just counting the minor Taos created by those Heng Meng Tao ancestors, for the 3,000 great Taos, each great Tao can be allocated over 330,000 complete minor Taos created by Heng Meng Tao ancestor realm experts. Unless a person possesses the combined power of at least over 300,000 Heng Meng Tao ancestor realm experts. Otherwise, no Heng Meng Tao ancestor can contend against any one of the 3,000 great Taos. On the true river of the indestructible great Tao, that vast river, every inch of the river, you can see endless Tao rhyme upon it. All are minor Taos, created by individual quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor realm experts. A tributary within that river is a complete minor Tao created by a Heng Meng Tao ancestor realm expert. Countless minor Taos together forge the powerful, indestructible great Tao. At the end of every minor Tao, you seem to be able to see one phantom of a demon god after another. They are coiled within these ends. A slight movement would cause huge ripples in the endless space-time. It would be able to cause the minor Taos centered on them, the minor Taos they created themselves, to experience abnormalities. Countless experts in the celestial venerable realm and immortal venerable realm who cultivate these minor Taos would also have some problems because of these abnormalities. If any one of the quasi-grandmist Tao ancestors who cultivate these minor Taos completely dies, then the people cultivating these minor Taos, as long as they have just broken through, only cultivated this one minor Tao and have not cultivated a second or third minor Tao, he would directly fall from the celestial venerable realm, becoming a 9th order realm cultivator, and all the minor Taos previously comprehended would be invalidated. Infinite lifespan would also become limited lifespan. This situation has directly caused some unlucky celestial venerable realm experts over endless years to vomit who knows how much blood. Having survived 9 deaths and 1 life, spending so much time and energy, finally comprehending a minor Tao, and finally breaking through to the long-desired celestial venerable realm, only to be beaten back to the original form. Originally, there wasn't much lifespan left after comprehending a minor Tao, and now being beaten back to the original form, having to comprehend a new one to break through to the celestial venerable realm, isn't this a direct death sentence? It can only be said that choosing a Tao to cultivate is also a matter that requires careful selection for those celestial venerable realm cultivators. Choosing those powerful minor Taos is better. Not only are they stronger, but the safety is also higher. The person who created the minor Tao is not easily killed by others. You look at this indestructible great Tao of all heavens without any hesitation, as you are already impatient to become one of the demon gods at the end of those minor Taos. You mobilize your own minor Tao of imprint. You let your own minor Tao begin to slowly overlap with the indestructible great Tao of all heavens. Under your guidance, it merges into it bit by bit. With the continuous merging, your aura begins to rise again. Before breaking through the realm, your strength had already surpassed the same level by about 2 million times, exceeding the combat power of an ordinary quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor realm by 2 times. Now, your strength has already surpassed the combat power of a quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor at the same level by 10,000 times. And it is rapidly increasing during the merging. 20,000 times the same level, 30,000 times the same level, 40,000 times the same level. It is increasing every minute and every second. The terrifying aura makes all the chaos great Tao controllers of the Chu family tremble from the bottom of their hearts. When the minor Tao you created is completely and successfully fused, your combat power and your aura have completely reached a peak level, surpassing the quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor at the same level by 200,000 times. This is your combat power. This is also a combat power level that surpasses the imagination of everyone in all heavens and myriad realms, and surpasses the limits of all heavens and myriad realms. A level of combat power with no predecessor and no successor. Even Chu Yunshin and Chu Zunshin, both of whom are called seeds of Hengmeng that can only be born once every tens of thousands of Hengmeng eras in the human race. Their combat power upon breaking through to the quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor was initially only over 1,000 times that of the same level. Even if they could continue to improve in the later stage, it would at most not exceed about 3,000 times that of the same level. Compared to your 200,000 times the same level, there is no comparison at all. Back then, the human emperor, an expert at the human ancestor level. In the quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor realm, even if there was someone who touched upon a bit of the transcendence level, it was also because the human race could be so powerful, could develop in the early stage, could make everyone have such strong combat power, and all the top 100 on the All Heavens combat power ranking were helped by the treasures of the human race. In the quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor realm, the combat power was only over 10,000 times that of the same level. There is still a gap of about 20 times compared to you. This also means, if you are lucky enough to break through to the Hengmeng Tao ancestor, your combat power might be able to surpass the experts of all heavens and myriad realms, with strength more than 20 times that of the human emperor. Exceeding 10 times the combat power of the same level means possessing the power to kill at the same level. At 20 times, you are already able to kill the strongest in all heavens and myriad realms, and it is the kind that can kill in one move. Even if you cannot have so much, 10 times is the bare minimum. After expending over 200,000 chaos eras of effort, and with the aid of various heaven and earth treasures provided by my descendants Chu Yunshin and Chu Zunshin, this old ancestor Chu has finally succeeded in breaking through to the quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor realm today. From this day forth, I am the strongest beneath the Hengmeng Tao ancestor in the all heavens and myriad realms. Apart from the Hengmeng Tao ancestor, I fear no one, I am afraid of no one. If any motherfucker at the same level can withstand a single glance from me, I'll consider it my loss. I'll consider myself trash. Opening your eyes, you gaze at the indestructible Great Tao River, which has become stronger by an incalculable fraction of 1/1000th after successfully fusing with the minor Tao of imprint. You then sense the changes in your own power. You feel that with a single move, you could destroy a chaos spacetime, could shake the very fabric of chaos spacetime. The corner of your mouth curves into a happy smile, and you can't help but let out your signature villainous laugh. Chaos spacetime. A single chaos spacetime contains who knows how many trillions of major thousand worlds, and even more minor thousand worlds and small worlds. Furthermore, there is also the chaos void realm, vaster than all these worlds combined by countless times. Such a vast expanse of chaos spacetime. Back when you were still at the De Luo Tao Lord realm, before you even had the concept of chaos spacetime. Forget shaking chaos spacetime. You were still exploring the limits of chaos spacetime, investigating how many major thousand worlds it contained, how many powerful beings resided within, how many blessed lands of the heavens existed. You never imagined that one day in the future you would be able to shake chaos spacetime, to destroy it. Even a powerhouse at the chaos Great Tao Controller realm would require some time to traverse a chaos spacetime, let alone directly destroying one. But now, you, possessing strength over 200,000 times greater than your peers at the quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor realm. Precisely possess this power. Are precisely this strong. Are precisely this invincible. A familiar BGM begins to play. How lonely invincibility is, how empty invincibility is. Alone at the peak, the cold wind blows incessantly. My loneliness, who can understand me? Now, the path to my invincibility draws ever nearer, with only one major realm left. Given my current comprehension ability, even without further assistance from heaven and earth treasures, cultivating step by step, it would only require several tens of millions of Hengmeng eras. Although this duration is extremely long compared to my previous cultivation time. But compared to other cultivators in the all heavens and myriad realms, this speed is already incredibly fast. For others, achieving the quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor realm is already a fortunate event. Hopping to break through to the Hengmeng Tao ancestor realm, that's impossible, even if they wait until the all heavens and myriad realms are destroyed. If they lack any special opportunity, they will never break through until their death. Several tens of millions of Hengmeng eras, compared to the trillions of Hengmeng eras of the all heavens and myriad realms, isn't even 1/10,000th. Chu Yunshin, Chu Zunshin, and that heavenly evolution chaos great Tao controller who once helped me should live long enough to witness me attaining the Hengmeng Tao ancestor realm. You few wait. Once this old ancestor becomes invincible, I'll take you all soaring. Having successfully broken through to the quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor realm, your insatiable greed begins to envision the scene of you attaining the Hengmeng Tao ancestor realm. The more you think about it, the happier you become, laughing even more joyfully. Once you achieve the Hengmeng Tao ancestor realm, you will make the human race the sole supreme race in the all heavens and myriad realms. The other 7 supreme races, and all third-rate, second-rate, and first-rate races, all the powerhouses within them at the chaos great Tao controller level and above, including those at the Hengmeng Tao ancestor realm. Wipe them all out. Leave not a single one. The all heavens and myriad realms don't need that many Hengmeng Tao ancestors. Having one race, the human race, possess a Hengmeng Tao ancestor is sufficient. Other races only need to have powerhouses below the chaos great Tao controller level. In fact, even powerhouses below the chaos great Tao controller level don't need to exist in great numbers. If you have the strength, if you have the capability, you feel it necessary to impose a restriction on all races in the all heavens and myriad realms except the human race. That restriction being, all races in the all heavens and myriad realms will only be able to break through to the immortal venerable realm. No one will be able to break through to the De Luo realm, not even those with sufficient cultivation resources, nor those fated to break through to this realm. Henceforth, after you establish this ceiling restriction, no one in the all heavens and myriad realms outside the human race will be able to break through to the De Luo realm. All beings will be capped at the immortal venerable realm at most. In your view, the realms above De Luo are waters too deep for people of these races. They can't handle it. You must let your human race properly handle it for them, test the depth of the waters. Only the human race can handle it. Once you achieve the Hengmeng Tao ancestor realm, you will ensure that Chu Yunshin, Chu Zunshin, that heavenly evolution chaos great Tao controller you trapped in the territorial illusion, and the many Chu family disciples all enjoy good fortune together. Possessing the resources of all races in the all heavens and myriad realms. You can do whatever you want. You could even drag out the strongest of those races to walk like dogs. As long as you bring those powerhouses over and seal their cultivation, then there's no problem. You think it would be quite excellent to have supreme-level powerhouses like those Supreme System Lords or Supreme Heavenly Demon Patriarchs, after having their cultivation sealed, serve as dogs to be walked by your descendants. That would be pretty good. You personally think it's excellent. Once you achieve the Hengmengdao ancestor realm, you will. Old Seventh, you actually managed to think of such things. Not allowing anyone else in the all heavens and myriad realms to break through beyond the De Luo realm, permitting only the human race to do so. Wanting to drag out the strongest of those races to walk like dogs, not even sparing the supreme races. Unimaginable what you, this devil head, will do to the races of the all heavens and myriad realms once you break through. Your behavior is truly too much in line with my own thoughts. Once I successfully break through, I'll do the same. Chu He outside couldn't help but start envisioning as well. The more he thought about it, the more excited he became. After breaking through, I'll fucking do this, I'll fucking do that, I'll fucking do the other thing. At the same time, right when you were AA. In the infinite chaos spacetime, endless void realm and dimensions of all heavens and myriad realms, whether it be those in major thousand worlds, middle thousand worlds, or those wandering outside the worlds. Many who cultivate undying rules, preparing to comprehend one of the many branches of the indestructible Great Tao, as well as those who have already broken through the divine venerable realm and are preparing to comprehend another branch. They all knew it the moment you successfully achieved a breakthrough to the quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor realm. Suddenly, they just knew. Among these countless minor Taos, a new minor Tao had suddenly appeared. This minor Tao is called the minor Tao of imprint. If one cultivates it, they can condense an imprint and merge it into the origin of all heavens and myriad realms. As long as this imprint does not perish, the person who condensed the imprint will not die. Of course, this situation was silently integrated into their memories. It did not let them discover this situation. It only let them know that this minor Tao existed. Besides this, those quasi-grandmist Tao ancestors and Hengmengdao ancestor realm experts who created the many branches of the indestructible Great Tao. Those demon god existences at the end of the indestructible Great Tao River and minor Tao also knew immediately. Within their own indestructible Great Tao camp, there was one more existence who had created an indestructible Great Tao branch minor Tao. All heavens and myriad realms had one more quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor. Regarding this situation, you did not cause any huge ripples within all heavens and myriad realms, not even small ripples. No one cared whether all heavens and myriad realms had one more quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor. It was just a cultivator at the quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor realm. There are tons of them in all heavens and myriad realms. One is born every once in a while, so what is there to care about? People shouldn't have such great curiosity, okay? If a Hengmengdao ancestor were born, that could cause some ripples and attract some people's attention. After all, a Hengmengdao ancestor is already a true peak figure in all heavens and myriad realms. One person can create a third-rate race and possess a certain amount of influence. A quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor is just whatever. What do you mean by just whatever? Simulator, you look down on quasi-grandmist Tao ancestors, don't you? A quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor is still a Hengmengdao ancestor. Don't treat a quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor like they don't matter. Chu He was a little angry. When can we quasi-grandmist Tao ancestors rise up in all heavens and myriad realms? Rise up. Being looked down upon by this person and that person every day. However, although not many people cared, but for some interested parties, they were still relatively concerned. There is no need to say who these interested parties are. Naturally, it is Chu Yunshan and Chu Zunshan, these two descendants you love the most. The moment you broke through to the quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor realm, they saw yet another minor Tao appear within the indestructible Great Tao River. They immediately knew that their old ancestor had broken through. With the help of these two, you, their old ancestor, broke through in just a few 100,000 chaos eras. Don't ask why they could know immediately. If you ask, it is because Chu Yunshin and Chu Zunshin, because they were influenced by you, and because you, their old ancestor, cultivate the indestructible Great Tao, they also cultivate the indestructible Great Tao. From undying rules, minor Tao of indestructible Great Tao, to chaos Great Tao, they cultivated all the way up. The minor Taos they created are also branches of the indestructible Great Tao. That is why they could know immediately. You, this old ancestor, have too much influence on the Chu family. Because of you, there is the current Chu family, and because of you, they have their current good life. Therefore, 100% of the Chu family, everyone, cultivates undying rules, indestructible Great Tao branches, and the indestructible Great Tao. Future descendants will also inevitably cultivate indestructible Great Tao branches. These people might be able to help you perfect the indestructible Great Tao branches and the minor Tao of imprint in the future. Although only a little. Human race ancestral land. Inside a special blessed land the size of a chaos spacetime, Chu Yunshin and Chu Zunshin were each sitting, cross-legged on a prayer mat, constantly perfecting the minor Taos they created. This blessed land, including the prayer mats beneath them, are top-tier treasures of all heavens and myriad realms. They are things that number 7 Chu He could only dream of getting. Inside this blessed land, there is planted a supreme origin enlightenment tea tree seedling, which is a descendant formed after a true supreme origin enlightenment tea tree ancestor split off a bit of its origin. Although it was only formed from a part of the origin, the effect is still 100 times stronger than ordinary heaven and earth treasure at the Hengmeng Tao ancestor level. Planted in this chaos spacetime, it directly increases the comprehension ability of any life form here by 3 times. Remember, this is a percentage increase. This is a noble percentage. Even if an expert at the Hengmeng Tao ancestor level comes here, they can increase their own comprehension ability by 3 times. If number 7 Chu He were to come here, his own comprehension ability, which is over 20,000 times that of the same level, could directly be increased to over 60,000 times that of the same level. This kind of effect is useful even for the human race's strongest human emperor, because this number is the source of heaven and earth treasure in all heavens and myriad realms. Only the human emperor and human ancestor of the human race have the true supreme origin enlightenment tea tree ancestor, and staying there can increase comprehension ability by about 10 times. Otherwise, this thing could never have fallen into the hands of Chu Yunshin and Chu Zunshin. Even if the more people who use this thing, the weaker the effect, and at most it can only be effective for a few people at a time. It still couldn't have fallen into their hands. The prayer mat they are sitting on is also woven from the supreme origin 7-colored enlightenment treasure vine. The effect is also capable of increasing comprehension ability by 1 time, which is also a noble percentage bonus. But it is only useful for experts at the quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor realm. But even so, the value of this treasure is 100 or 1,000 times higher than ordinary Hengmeng Tao ancestor level heaven and earth treasure. Because this can be passed down as a legacy, it is not something that can only be used once, and it increases by a percentage. These 2 things, no matter which one is placed in those first-rate races or even supreme races, are of the utmost importance. Legacy supreme treasure. The foundation of a race's prosperous legacy. The human race only has a total of a dozen or so such treasures, and the 7 supreme races only have 3, each having 1. The remaining 4 don't even have 1. Yet, these 2 have a total of 3 of these items, which even a supreme race might not possess. It is the sum total of all other supreme races combined. The treatment Chu Yunshin and Chu Zunshin receive is even higher than the combined treatment of all the seeds of Hengmeng across all supreme races. This is the level of effort the human race puts into cultivating geniuses. It is truly sparing no effort. Those experts at the Hengmeng Tao ANCESTOR level don't even use this kind of protection for themselves. They save it for the geniuses of the human race. Their own comprehension ability, just their innate comprehension ability, has already been elevated to 150,000 times that of the same level. As mentioned before, the improvement of innate comprehension ability becomes slower the further one progresses. Number 7, Chu He previously used many heaven and earth treasures of the Hengmeng Dao ancestor level, and only managed to increase it to the level of several tens of thousands. If you add the percentage bonuses from other surrounding treasures, their innate comprehension ability has already exceeded 1,000,000 times that of the same level. Others, damn it, haven't even seen what a heaven and earth treasure of the Hengmeng Dao ancestor level looks like. Yet Chu Yunshan and Chu Zunshan treat treasures of this level as their daily routine. If they want to consume them, they just do. It's a matter of a single sentence. They can have as many as they want. After all, it just means making the other races in the all heavens and myriad realms suffer a bit more. The wealth gap is truly too great. Zunshan, did you feel that? The old ancestor has reached the realm of the quasi-grandmist Dao ancestor. Seeming to have sensed something, Chu Yunshan slightly opened his eyes, his gaze filled with joy. That's right, I felt it too. The newly born minor Dao of imprint must be the minor Dao created by the old ancestor. The old ancestor broke through to the realm of the quasi-grandmist Dao ancestor in just over 200,000 chaos eras. I can only say that as expected of the old ancestor, he is truly powerful. Chu Zunshan, regarding you, the old ancestor, didn't hesitate to flatter you sincerely, even if it meant going against his conscience. He described how much of a genius you were, how incredibly awesome you were, breaking through in just over 200,000 chaos eras. Although this is indeed somewhat of a genius, if one ignores that Chu Yunshan and Chu Zunshan broke through in just over 20,000 chaos eras, and ignores the help from the numerous heaven and earth treasures they gave to their old ancestor, that would be a true genius. Chu Yunshan and Chu Zunshan had long since ignored the fact that they gave heaven and earth treasures to their old ancestor, and had forgotten the time it took for them to break through. They genuinely felt that they were not as much of a genius as you, their old ancestor. Don't ask them how long it took them to break through. If asked, it was over 300,000 chaos eras. That's right, the old ancestor is the most powerful person I have ever seen, said against his conscience. Once the old ancestor breaks through, given his combat power, his strength must have already surpassed ours. He is likely the strongest person below the Hengmeng Dao ancestor. Once he breaks through to the realm of the Hengmeng Dao ancestor in the future, our old ancestor will surely be an invincible figure across the all heavens and myriad realms. In order to make our Chu family even greater, in order for our old ancestor to achieve the Hengmeng Dao ancestor level faster, we too must continue to contribute to the old ancestor, continue to work hard, and continue to make the old ancestor's breakthrough speed even faster. Because the two races in the Supreme Origin System were fighting fiercely, we collected a huge amount of viewing fees, allowing our race to obtain hundreds of millions of heaven and earth treasures of the Hengmeng Dao ancestor level all at once. After obtaining these heaven and earth treasures, the race rewarded us each with tens of thousands of heaven and earth treasures of the Hengmeng Dao ancestor level. I have only used 1/3 of mine, and I plan to take out half of the remainder. If you also take out half, it will add up to exactly 30,000 heaven and earth treasures of the Hengmeng Dao ancestor level for the old ancestor. Let the old ancestor's comprehension ability increase even further. What do you think? Chu Yunshan calculated the wealth within his world within the body, preparing to send another huge wave of benefits to his family's old ancestor. More than 10,000 heaven and earth treasures of the Hengmeng Dao ancestor level. All of them are for increasing innate comprehension ability. His, combined with Chu Zunshan's, are enough to raise the innate comprehension ability of his most beloved old ancestor to 100,000 times that of the same level. The time to achieve the Hengmeng Dao ancestor level in the future could be directly reduced by more than 100 times. I think it is very okay. My only opinion is that I feel it might be a bit insufficient. The old ancestor is so good to us, and we only gave him such a small amount of things to repay him. Isn't that a bit insufficient? Aren't there 2 Supreme Origin 7-colored enlightenment treasure vines under our seats? We have 1 each, that's too much. How about taking 1 out and lending it to the old ancestor for a while? If we 2 squeeze together, we can actually fit. The effect won't be too different. Regarding Chu Yunshin's suggestion, Chu Zunshin was in complete agreement and had no objections. No, this treasure is too important to the human race. Losing 1 would be a huge loss for the human race, and there might be restrictions left inside. Once we take it out, I'm afraid it will be immediately discovered by the experts of the human race. If the human race says we are eating inside and out and only punishes us, that would be fine. But if they follow the trail through us and discover our old ancestor, then we would be sinners of the family. Chu Yunshin shook his head. No, I don't think there would be any restrictions set. To the great human race, the all heavens and myriad realms are just their backyard. Even if this thing is thrown out, no matter how precious it is, as long as the human race hasn't said they don't want it. No race would be stupid enough to go and take it. The human race doesn't think anyone would take this thing, so there's no need to set any restrictions. Anyway, even if someone takes it, a human race Hengmeng Dao ancestor can just go over and take it back. Chu Zunshin was a bit unconvinced. He wanted his family's old ancestor to break through to the Hengmeng Dao ancestor level as soon as possible. With this item, if their old ancestor finishes using all their heaven and earth treasures, he can then use this item. His innate comprehension ability would exceed 200,000 times that of the same level. By then, the speed of breaking through to the Hengmeng Dao ancestor level would be increased several times over. Originally, it would have taken tens of millions of Hengmeng eras to break through, but after this improvement again and again, perhaps only 100,000 Hengmeng eras would be needed. This speed, it is even faster than the seed of Hongming within those first-rate races. As long as the old ancestor can achieve a breakthrough, the old ancestor can step onto the main stage. Chu Zunshin was very confident. No one in the entire all heavens and myriad realms was a match for the old ancestor. By then, the entire all heavens and myriad realms will be the world of their human race, the world of their Chu family. In this, Chu Zunshin did not really have any selfish motives. He sincerely wanted his old ancestor to become stronger. He did not harbor any thoughts about how he, a person who had made huge contributions to the old ancestor, would fare or what he would achieve in the future once his old ancestor became a Hengmeng Dao ancestor. None of these existed, because Chu Zunshin already possessed these things. When they achieved the seed of Hengmeng, they already possessed these things. In terms of strength, even if the old ancestor broke through to become a Hengmeng Dao ancestor and became invincible throughout the all heavens and myriad realms, and even if he wanted to reward them, the most he could do was let them break through to become Hengmeng Dao ancestors. But right now, even without the old ancestors' help or rewards, by using the human race's cultivation methods, they could step by step achieve the status of Hengmeng Dao ancestor without any major mishaps. In terms of background, the human race was already the #1 race in the all heavens and myriad realms, and a truly dominant one at that. With over 20 million Hengmeng Dao ancestors behind them, this background was already invincible. Being a little more invincible, in reality, didn't make much of a difference. They remained as arrogant as they should be, and as unscrupulous as they should be. Among the third-rate, second-rate, and first-rate races, the 2 of them could do whatever they wanted. At most, the old ancestor would be invincible, their background would be even more impressive, and they could do whatever they wanted within the supreme race. But did these things have any great significance? No. Therefore, Chu Zunshin really didn't have any special thoughts. There is no need for this. With our old ancestor's speed of cultivation, he can achieve a breakthrough by following the standard steps. There is no need to take this risk. If the old ancestor knew, he surely would not want us to take this risk for him. Chu Yunshin still disagreed. Fine, what you said makes sense. I was too impatient. It is good that you can understand this principle. Right, I just remembered something. It seems like the time for our planned cleanup of the Angel Clanevery 100,000 Chaos Eras is almost here again. I heard that the Angel Clan was very lucky recently and gave birth to another genius with the seed of Hengmeng. Just in time, the batch of Angel Clan servants we had for advanced training has all been played to death. Let's go there and get another batch of advanced training talents. Perfect. I haven't had a servant at the seed of Hengmeng level yet. He, who told them to provoke our old ancestor. After finishing the conversation, Chu Yunshin skipped the topic and shifted the subject to the Angel Clan. Mentioning the 4 words, Angel Clan, the eyes of both men were filled with cold light. They were already thinking in their hearts about how to go to the Angel Clan and deal with the experts within the Angel Clan. Because they knew about their old ancestors' displeasure with the Angel Clan, this also led Chu Yunshin and Chu Zunshin to be filled with displeasure toward this first-rate race. They wished they could kill them all. But because the Angel Clan was a first-rate race, not some third-rate race that could be killed by them at will, if they wanted to truly exterminate the Angel Clan, they would have to wait until they achieved the status of Hengmengdao ancestor, and specifically, powerful Hengmengdao ancestors at that, and then have enough qualifications to invite an expert from the human race ranked in the top 20 to be able to surpass the strength of the Angel Clan's strongest by 10 times, and then eradicate them with thunderous momentum. Right now, they did not have the qualifications. They did not have the qualifications to make the human race do this for them, so it was not possible. However, although they could not completely exterminate the Angel Clan, they could still make the Angel Clan, which had already had its spine completely broken, even more broken. Shattered. The kind that could never be reconnected. The 2 of them could still manage that. Therefore, they set a plan to go and treat the Angel Clan every 100,000 Chaos Eras. Every 100,000 Chaos Eras, they would go over there to sweep through, see what geniuses they had, and if there were any, bring them all over to the human race for advanced training. Bring them all over here to be servants. The most ruthless part was that they would also bring those Angel Clan geniuses who were serving as advanced training servants back to the Angel Clan, and make those Angel Clan Hengmengdao ancestor experts watch with wide eyes while grinding their teeth in hatred. Not watching would be an act of disrespect toward the human race. That would mean they still had thoughts and resentment regarding what the human race had done previously. Besides that, the 2 of them would often go into the Angel Clan's treasure vault, under the pretense that the human race had some wanted criminals who were locked up inside their Angel Clan's treasure vault. They needed to go in and investigate. If they didn't allow the investigation, that would be harboring criminals. Harboring criminals wanted by the human race, how could that be allowed? That was even more serious than being disrespectful to the human race. If they didn't find anyone, the 2 of them would just say that the criminals were too shrewd and had run away in advance. In order to trace the criminals, they had to take a few treasures from here back with them. Because the criminals might have stayed here, these treasures might have some karma connection with the criminals and must be taken back for investigation. They absolutely could not let any clues slip away. And if the next time they came, the amount of treasure inside didn't match their race's strength, meaning it had been taken away in advance. Or hidden away. The 2 of them would say even more that the Angel Clan members were feeling guilty. If they weren't feeling guilty, if they weren't harboring criminals, why would they hide the treasures? Had they hidden the criminals in some other place where they hid treasures? It must be. Chu Yunshin, Chu Zunshin, well done. You are worthy of being my good descendants. Keep up this intensity and keep using this intensity to deal with that angel clan. If you keep dealing with them with this intensity, the angel clan can forget about developing. If their overall race strength doesn't regress, it would be considered impressive for the experts within their race. Chu He laughed heartily. He really didn't dare to imagine just how miserable the angel clan in the simulation actually was. Coming once every 100,000 chaos eras. The angel clan, even as a first-rate race, couldn't last long. Perhaps only the supreme race could withstand this level of exploitation. The key is that the angel clan dare not do anything about the policies regarding his two juniors. If any powerhouse of the angel clan dares to do even the slightest bit of harm to the human race's seed of Hengmeng, then the angel clan would have no need to exist. Within minutes, over 20 million Hengmeng Dao ancestors of the human race would be blocking the entrance of the angel clan. To deliver a funeral clock to the angel clan. Moving won't work, and staying still won't work either. Moving means death, and staying still means death all the same. It's just that staying still means dying a bit slower. While Chu Yunshin and Chu Zunshin were discussing how to discipline the angel clan, the Chu family of the Tianchu Chaos spacetime had already started celebrating you, their old ancestor, achieving the quasi-grandmist Dao ancestor realm. Celebrating their Chu family becoming even more powerful. In order to celebrate, numerous chaos great Dao controller level powerhouses of the Chu family began searching through the countless surrounding chaos spacetimes for all kinds of gourmet food. Because many members of the Chu family knew that you, their old ancestor, love gourmet food. To satisfy this preference of yours, the Chu family, having expanded to trillions of chaos great Dao controllers, saw half of them join forces to use their own power of creation, intending to co-create a gourmet chaos spacetime the size of a chaos spacetime, filled entirely with gourmet food. Just like those food spirit middle thousand worlds within the Hun Tian Great Thousand World back then. This gourmet chaos spacetime is even more incredible. It gathers all the top delicacies from who knows how many trillions of chaos spacetimes controlled by the Chu family. The chaos void inside is food. The major thousand worlds are food. Everything is food. And furthermore, they went directly to cut meat from those alien chaos great Dao controllers who had been trapped in territorial illusions by them. These people had all fallen into the illusion. As long as the territorial illusion didn't have any issues, they would have no perception of reality. No matter what you do to them from the outside, even if you directly land a fatal attack on them, they wouldn't react at all. It's just a mere fatal wound. Therefore, those chaos great Dao controllers trapped in the illusion had now all become the Chu family's livestock, possessing the eternal proof trait. Even if their physical body was completely eaten and wiped clean, they wouldn't die and would resurrect in the next second. Now, within the Chu family, even a newly born Chu family disciple with strength only at the ninth order realm. If they wanted to, they could directly eat the flesh and blood of a chaos great Dao controller level lifeform. Free of charge, it costs nothing. Although, after eating it, they would explode and die because their bodies couldn't withstand the flesh and blood of a chaos great Dao controller level lifeform. But exploding and dying is just a small matter. Just have a family elder resurrect them. Anyway, the Daluo realm grants the ability to reverse spacetime and resurrect. In their Chu family, apart from those just born, everyone's strength is at least Daluo realm or above. This eternal proof trait is too perverted. Chaos great Dao controller level powerhouses, or even Hengmeng Dao ancestor level powerhouses, as long as a tiny bit of them remains in the all heavens and myriad realms, they can resurrect instantly. And in their prime too. With this ability, If there were a large-sized alien Hengmeng Dao ancestor-level powerhouse who cut off most of their own flesh and blood, leaving only a tiny bit to fully recover via eternal proof. If this were repeated every single second, I'm afraid that even if it were distributed to all life in the all heavens and myriad realms to eat, they wouldn't be able to finish it all. It would directly achieve a state where everyone has meat to eat, and it's Hengmeng Dao ancestor-level meat at that. If one's imagination were a bit more heaven-defying, it might even be able to burst the entire all heavens and myriad realms. After all, just think about it. A Hengmeng Dao ancestor-level physical body, if it wanted to expand, would be at least the size of tens of millions of chaos spacetimes. Even if it only resurrected once a second, it could bring tens of millions of chaos spacetimes worth of physical body to the all heavens and myriad realms, occupying tens of millions of chaos spacetimes of space. That's tens of millions every second. If this went on for a few chaos eras at this speed, could the all heavens and myriad realms withstand it? Could the all heavens and myriad realms expand by tens of millions of chaos eras every second? Impossible. In Chu He's view, the eternal proof trait is the most awesome trait in the all heavens and myriad realms. In a sense, it might even be more awesome than the all heavens and myriad realms itself. But this heaven-defying trait is possessed by basically every Daluo realm powerhouse. Chu He has never been able to figure out where the source of this trait lies. To say it is an extension of the all heavens and myriad realms' indestructible great Tao. It's possible, but it doesn't make sense. Perhaps the source of this trait lies with that so-called transcendence realm expert. That possibility is a bit more reasonable. It didn't take long for the numerous chaos great Tao controllers of the Chu family to create a gourmet spacetime the size of a chaos spacetime. It didn't take long. It was all finished in less than a day. For a single chaos great Tao controller level powerhouse, creating a gourmet chaos spacetime is impossible. Even if it were possible, it would take a very, very long time to complete. However, with at least trillions of chaos great Tao controllers working together with one heart, then this time was infinitely shortened. It was very easy to create. After it was created, what appeared before your eyes was a chaos spacetime filled with colorful, various rare treasures of heaven and earth, and all kinds of gourmet food gathered together. Inside, there was a waterfall with a width exceeding tens of millions of major thousand worlds, plummeting down for endless feet. Flowing above it was the gourmet version, water of wonder. Even a drop contains infinite flavor. It was condensed through special means from the happy and beautiful moments of all life, in all the worlds within all the chaos spacetimes controlled by the Chu family. Only then was it born. A single drop in here represents the beautiful moments of all life in a minor thousand world. Swimming in it, one would be happy. No matter how bad things one encounters, one would face them happily. Besides this, there were Xuanyuan heavy bamboo shoots the size of major thousand worlds. Sperm giant spirit whales the size of millions of major thousand worlds, carrying tens of millions of spices on their bodies, not knowing they were roasting themselves, still swimming in the void realm. Looking at these things, a brilliant smile appeared on your face, as you hadn't eaten delicious food for a long time. You immediately transformed into a giant golden Dharma idol and began to frantically devour all the delicious food in front of you. As for the Chu family descendants, who were chaos great Tao controllers, they did not come over to enjoy these delicacies with you. If they wanted to eat these things, they could easily create them themselves. There was no need to compete with you at this time. On the contrary, these descendants were even happier watching you personally eat the food they created and show a joyful smile than if they had eaten it themselves. To make sure you ate happily and without restraint, while you were eating, they frantically continued to create chaos spacetime, replenishing all the chaos spacetime of the delicious food you consumed. Anyway, there were trillions of chaos great Tao controllers present, and the strength of ordinary quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor realm experts was only 1,000,000 times stronger than a chaos great Tao controller. Even if your strength was much greater than those ordinary quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor realm experts, it couldn't possibly be strong enough to surpass the combined strength of trillions of chaos great Tao controllers. They really didn't believe that so many people couldn't make you full. Or make you, the old ancestor, eat until you threw up. This celebration, this carnival, lasted for hundreds of millions of years before it finally stopped. You ate for hundreds of millions of years. After you finished eating, you felt incredibly comfortable all over. The look in your eyes towards your descendants became even more benevolent. Without a word, you prepared to greatly reward these descendants. You directly gave all the numerous cultivation resources that Chu Yunshin and Chu Zunshin, those two descendants, had given you during these hundreds of millions of years of eating. To those present whose strength was below the chaos great Tao controller realm. For some unknown reason, Chu Yunshin and Chu Zunshin actually gave tens of thousands of Hung Meng Tao ancestor-level heaven and earth treasures at once. This situation greatly surprised you at the time. You loved those two descendants to death. You heartily praised your original idea of sending these two descendants to the human race. It was your heaven-defying stroke of genius that allowed you to obtain so many cultivation resources. Otherwise, you, who would only be cooped up in a remote corner of the all heavens and myriad realms, probably wouldn't have even seen Hung Meng Tao ancestor-level heaven and earth treasures by now. Let alone quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor-level heaven and earth treasures. Perhaps you might not have even seen them. Even if you currently controlled a large number of chaos great Tao controllers with territorial illusions, you probably wouldn't get one, because anyone who possessed such an item would immediately use it themselves and not keep it. Why keep it? It wouldn't give birth to offspring, would it? If you didn't use it now, keeping it would only mean leaving it for enemies. The heaven and earth treasures you used to reward these descendants, this time, were naturally not those few Hung Meng Tao ancestor-level heaven and earth treasures. They were De Luo Tao Lord-level heaven and earth treasures. These things were found by Chu Yunshin and Chu Zunshian from the human race, out of concern for your family's descendants, their brothers and sisters. It's worth mentioning that at first, when searching for these items, Chu Yunshin and Chu Zunshin found that searching for heaven and earth treasures of this level was actually more difficult than searching for quasi-grandmist Tao ancestor level or Hung Meng Tao ancestor level heaven and earth treasures. That's right, it was even more difficult. They only needed to say a word if they needed Hung Meng Tao ancestor level heaven and earth treasures. But needing these De Luo Tao Lord level heaven and earth treasures was actually a bit difficult. Because in a highly esteemed place like the human race ancestral land, the highest map in the all heavens and myriad realms. Looking around, the lowest strength was a chaos great Tao controller, and the cultivation resources possessed by such people, at the very least, had to be a chaos rare treasure. And those were the ones they hadn't used up when they made a breakthrough. Other cultivation resources were heaven and earth treasures that improved the comprehension ability of chaos great Tao controllers. There simply couldn't be any De Luo Tao Lord level ones. If these things were put into their treasure vaults, human race chaos great Tao controllers would find them an eyesore. They would directly destroy them, simply to get them out of sight and out of mind. This caused trouble for Chu Yunshin and Chu Zunshin, who, in order to find De Luo Tao Lord-level heaven and earth treasures, specifically sought out those human race chaos great Tao controllers who were dispatched outside. They asked them to bring over all the De Luo Tao Lord-level heaven and earth treasures from the chaos spacetime they controlled. Naturally, there was no cost involved. Being able to curry favor with the seed of Hung Meng of the human race, and with future Hung Meng Tao ancestors, these human race chaos great Tao controllers were naturally very willing to exchange things they didn't need. They could get as many as they wanted. Anyway, at most, it would just waste a little time searching. For them, it was completely a no-cost business. Because the human race controlled too many chaos spacetime, with just one word, Chu Yunshin and Chu Zunshin obtained countless cultivation resources. These cultivation resources, even if the number of Chu family experts increased by another 1,000,000 or 10 million times, they could still be fully supplied. Without any pressure. Coincidentally, you didn't care much about these cultivation resources, nor did you have any intention of hoarding them or slowly distributing them later. You directly gave all these cultivation resources, which were enough for tens of millions more people in the Chu family without any pressure, to them all at once. As a reward. Boom tilde tilde. After you had this thought and waved your hand, a rain of treasures fell in the chaos spacetime in front of all the Chu family members. Millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions. Tens of billions, hundreds of billions, trillions. Hundreds of trillions, thousands of trillions, 10,000 trillions. Countless Deluo Dao Lord-level cultivation resources rained down on every Chu family member. Everyone, even Chaos Great Dao controller-level experts, seeing so many treasures. Even if these things were trash to them. At this moment, their eyes couldn't help but become stunned.